Okay, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Intellectual Saviors of Wrestling with your hosts, the Master of the Brain Damage,
Martin.
and the one and only Sam H. And this is the Smackdown review of the 19th of July, the first live Smackdown, and the draft at last.
Yep, I was really geared up and looking forward to seeing this one and see how it would unfold. So let's get all the expectation and hype out of the way.
Yeah, we kicked off, with the draft, the first round.
We had Stephanie and Mick for Raw and Shane and Daniel for SmackDown. Now, without boring you too much, it worked out Raw picked first because they're the 3-hour show and SmackDown's only 2 hours. That was basically how they decided it.
Yeah, and Raw got 3 picks for SmackDown's 2.
Yeah, so let's start off with the picks. Now, Raw, some would say very unpredictably, with their first draft pick, they picked Seth Rollins.
Yeah. And SmackDown countered that. Their first pick was the WWE champion, Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. And then, after that, in slightly surprising circumstances and how high the pick was, they went with the WWE Women's Champion, Charlotte.
Yeah, surprising. And SmackDown's second pick, again, kind of surprising. They went with AJ Styles.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the club would be a 3-man thing and they pick them all together, but no, it's just AJ, just on his own.
So, be interested later on in the night where Gallows and Anderson would appear.
Yeah. And speaking of them, that was the first match.
We're forgetting the final Raw pick first. A lot of people sort of expected it, but we weren't quite sure how he was going to make the jump to the main roster. But Mick Foley done a speech about how with this pick they wanted to look towards the future of the brand and how they could expand it. And they said they were going with a wrestler from NXT. And it was none other than the Demon, Finn Balor.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good start. I mean, we got 6 NXT picks. And yeah, Finn is a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, as you were saying a minute ago, we had our first match, which was, I'm gonna come out and say it now. The show was boring. Apart from the main event that everyone was interested in, the matches weren't particularly great, and they were just sort of, how can we break up the draft? Screw it, we'll just chuck a match in here and there and see how it goes.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of good matches on there. I mean, this match was incredibly short. And I think a guy like Luke Gallows has been around for a long time, deserves a bit more than a 3-minute squash match with John Cena.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
Yeah. So, if you haven't already guessed, John Cena was fighting against Luke Gallows.
Yay.
Oh dear. So yeah, like Sam said, I'm not going to dwell too much on these matches. If truth be told, except for the main event, I pretty much fast forward through most of these matches and just saw who won. Yep, great.
I watched them, but simply out of the interest and to give you guys the maximum product we can.
Yeah.
But like I say, it didn't matter whether you watched them or not, because most of them, except the main event, were rather short.
Just really broke up the draft picks, and that was it. So,
and this wasn't a long match. Cena basically got in all the offense and won with the FU. What?
It's not the FU, it's the AA.
I don't care. The AA is an actual organisation, and how they haven't been sued by them, I don't know.
Well, I'm not quite sure Cena would do the same service that they do for you. I'll be very surprised if he come and towed your car to a garage.
I wouldn't want my car being towed by him. No, it's always the FU. It's always been the FU. Cena can deny it all he wants. They've put legitimate proof on the network it was him that invented it.
Yeah.
So, FU, John. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And let's move on to the second round of the draft.
Okay. And what we got?
And for Monday Night Raw, we had Roman Reigns.
Yeah, expected.
And then we had the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
I'm not sure what the point of drafting him is. I mean, he's only on TV for about 3 times a year.
Yeah, obviously, admittedly, he has select few dates, although we may be seeing him a bit more on WWE television. I'm not sure how open UFC are to having him on television. If you haven't heard already, where the fuck have you been for the last week or so?
I've been sleeping.
You're always sleeping if you're not working. No, Brock Lesnar has failed 2 drugs tests after his fight with Mark Hunt at UFC 200.
Oh boy.
So, as I say, it's in UFC, so I can't see WWE punishing him at all, really, for this.
He won't. But, I mean, we don't know the full ins and outs of it.
No, and to be honest, Brock's probably not bothered either way.
I don't know. I mean, the guy's a millionaire who lives in a house he built himself.
Yeah.
In the mountains, surrounded by electric barbed wire fences. So yeah, you want to go find him?
Stay away.
Go ahead, go up there. Christ,
Yeah.
he's a brave man.
Yeah, and then the last pick for Raw, which was the WWE World Tag Team Champions, The New Day.
Well, there you go. You happy now? They didn't split up.
Hey, I'm very happy.
I mean, they could have just picked Big E.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. If they were going to split up, you wouldn't want Kofi Kingston.
No, we've had Kofi Kingston as a singles competitor about 10 years ago.
Not that long.
Probably not far off if it isn't.
Xavier Woods could work as a singles guy.
Yeah, he's a likable enough character, and when he does get the chance, he does show off some good work in the ring. But unfortunately, they like to use him more as a novelty and continue his love interest with Francesca too.
Oh.
Yeah, and then come back to the draft picks. SmackDown ones were rather puzzling, if I'm being honest. John Cena's on the B show.
Yeah, I mean, he's winding down. Makes sense that he'd be on SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah, and then their other pick, which I'd say are random because he hasn't wrestled in close to a year. And, he's not due to make a comeback until Sunday, and even then he's not in ring competition until SummerSlam, as far as we know.
I think they should give him a few matches before SummerSlam. I mean, he hasn't wrestled in 9 months. He's going to be rusty.
Yeah. You haven't guessed already who we're talking about. We're talking about the Viper, Randy Orton. So yeah, that was the next round of picks. And then in true SmackDown style, we had a tag team match.
Yeah.
We had the team of champions versus a team of their challengers.
Yeah, this is another WWE style classic thing where they get 2 rivalries and chuck them in the same match. This was an okay match. Again, rather short.
Yeah, we had the US champion Rusev and the Intercontinental champion The Miz versus Darren Young and Zack Ryder.
Yeah. Like I say, decent match. Not really that long. Surprising, the ending ended with Darren Young putting the cross-faced chicken wing on The Miz.
His new submission move that has been bestowed onto him from his life coach.
And it didn't look terrible. Not like The Miz's figure four. And so, yeah, The Miz tapped out to the chicken wing. And Darren Young seems to have all the momentum going into this Sunday.
Hopefully, long may it continue. But that's another story completely.
Right, what's next?
Well, our next match was building up to a six-man tag match at Battleground. Bray Wyatt versus Xavier Woods.
Yeah. This was, well, I think not another long match. But an interesting one because Bray doesn't get a lot of singles matches himself.
Yeah.
And neither does Xavier Woods. It's good to see them seeing what they could do.
Yeah, given the time limit they had, I think they put on an okay match.
Yeah.
I mean, like we discussed at the start, none of the matches except for the main title really got any sort of time whatsoever.
No, they didn't. This one had a rather good ending, though. I mean, I was quite impressed by this.
Yeah, Xavier Woods put up a brave fight, but in the end, Bray Wyatt caught Xavier Woods in the Sister Abigail.
Yeah, there was a pretty memorable bit towards the end where Xavier Woods went for his finisher, and just as he went to do it, Bray Wyatt did his spider walk, just like flipped up. And Xavier Woods just freaked out. Like,
Yeah.
got caught with Sister Abigail, and that's all she wrote.
So yeah, that was that one.
Another long match.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, well, we're just looking at like the matches here.
Yeah, oh, jeez. This was a very, very random match, which I'm going to tell you now, it ended in no contest. We had Demon Kane.
Oh, they're calling him Demon Kane now.
Yes, against Kevin Owens.
Yeah, now this match really didn't have any time at all. Again, a couple of minutes.
Not to mention, certain Sami Zayn made an appearance, and that just enraged Kevin Owens, and they got into a brawl before the match even started.
Yeah. Didn't even start. They both got in the ring. Kevin Owens gave Sami Zayn to Kane. Zayn chokeslam him, and Kane ended up chokeslamming both of them.
And that was all she wrote on that one.
Yeah, a bit of a pointless segment. I mean, Christ. Kane 10 years ago, yeah, you'd be scared of him, but Kane now? Really? I mean, if you see him, he's in really bad shape.
Yeah.
It's like he hasn't done any cardio in about 6 years, and he's got a belly on him.
No, well, I'm not quite sure if it's there's any truth to it, but I know there's word going around past a month or so that Kane's running for office.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure where, but yeah, he's considering going into politics.
I hope he does. That, or at least goes back to corporate Kane.
Yes. You can just imagine him walking into a press conference and just lifts his arms up and slams them down, and the flames just come up.
What, he's just going to bring the WWE's pyro guy along with him.
Why not? Why the hell not? So yeah, and then after that segment, we then had the next round of the picks.
A joy.
Raw picked up your favourite, Sami Zayn.
Yes, let's go.
And then continuing with the women, they picked Sasha Banks.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, they got Charlotte. Let's get the number one contender.
And who can forget their final pick on this one? None other than himself. Drink it in, man.
Oh, God.
Y2J.
Again, like with Brock, I don't see the point in Jericho being drafted because eventually he's going to go away again.
Yeah.
He can say all he wants to how he's enjoying it and his runs are going to be continuing, but eventually he will go away.
Yeah. Yeah. And then with SmackDown's picks, they picked up Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, and this was another, like AJ Styles, it was just Bray Wyatt. And they said afterwards that is confirming that they're all being drafted separately.
Yeah, so we shall see what happens to Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman.
Strange one.
Yeah, and then I believe before SmackDown made their final pick, Mick Foley and Stephanie were taking digs at Shane and Daniel for not selecting a female wrestler as of yet. And then they turn around and say, well, don't worry, because we're picking one with our next pick. And they picked up Becky Lynch.
Oh, great. Like I say, the women's division is so piss poor at the moment. I don't think you could draft anyone. It wouldn't really matter.
Yeah. So then, jeez. And then we got treated to crap handicap match.
Oh, yeah. Right.
It wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
We had Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Sasha Banks.
Now, I have a theory on who Sasha Banks' tag team partner is going to be, and which I will, you probably already figured out by now, but we'll touch on it again in the battleground thing we do. And I just don't see the point of this match. It's not helping anyone. Two people 9 times out of 10 will beat one person.
Yeah.
What is this match showing? Really?
Yeah, and
It was short. Charlotte won the match with natural selection.
Yeah.
Which you might know is the throwback. John Cena used that move ages ago when he was doing his whole thugonomics thing. But yeah, short match, boring, don't know what purpose it served.
Yeah. And then I believe at some point, I think it may have been after Jericho or Sasha got picked for Raw. Didn't we have Kevin Owens come out? He basically had a go at both SmackDown and Raw representatives saying, why have you not picked me yet?
Yeah.
This is a joke. But luckily for him, when the next round of picks got made, Raw picked up Rusev with Lana.
Right.
And KO himself. And then Enzo and Big Cass.
Ah, yeah, that was the one where it was shot to Shane and he ripped up his piece of paper.
Yeah, I remember that now you mention it. So yeah, and then SmackDown fought back with picking The Miz.
Right.
And Maurice.
I think even Daniel Bryan said that he didn't want to pick him. But they wanted the Intercontinental title on the brand.
Yep. And they also picked up Baron Corbin.
Yeah, good move for him. He'll get more time.
Yeah. They were the latest picks, and then we move on to our next match, which was Y2J versus Cesaro.
Two technical guys. Another match which wasn't really very long. A few good spots there, a couple of good uppercuts.
Yeah.
And it's had a really weird ending. I mean, Jericho won the match.
Who would have thought it?
I mean, Christ, yeah, why? I mean, if you're basing superstars on future development, I mean, Jericho winning again serves no purpose.
No.
But yeah, he won with the code breaker.
Yeah. And then the next segment, I don't want to spend any more than 30 seconds on this. Alicia Fox was meant to be fighting Natalia. Natalia came out to the ring, and then she got attacked by Becky Lynch.
Right.
Which then ended the match before it even started.
Which is good because you've seen Alicia Fox wrestle.
That's a bloody good question, actually. When was the last time she wrestled?
Probably about a year ago when she was in Team Bella for no apparent reason.
Jeez. Right, and that's on that then. I'm not spending any more time on it.
Hey!
And then we had the... was these the last picks, I think?
Possibly.
On television?
Yeah, they did 30 after the show was over, so I'd imagine so.
Yeah, so, yeah. The final picks, we had Raw pick up Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, thus breaking up the club.
Yeah.
Which was a bit of a shock to everyone. And then, screw it, I'm going to go out and say this. We've said about picking Jericho and Lesnar and Orton as pointless. This is the most pointless draft pick ever. Considering apart from that stupid, crazy, 16-man tag match on Raw, the guy hasn't wrestled in, I'll probably say, easily 6 months, and he's meant to be an active part of the roster. The Big Show.
Oh, God. You're right. Pointless. I mean, Big Show, these days, he's not athletic. He can barely move. He takes about 10 minutes to get into the ring.
So yeah, and then the final pick for Raw. They went to NXT for this one.
Ooh, should be a good one.
And the women's wrestlers.
Oh, well, you come on. Keep it coming.
And slightly shocking, they went for Nia Jax.
Different.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Anyone that's seen the work in NXT, you know, she's done fairly well with what she's had to work with. Unfortunately, she's had to suffer being partnered with Eva Marie for a while, and there was a brief point where she was sort of almost her bodyguard. Yeah, but I mean, she's a big physical wrestler. Certainly different to most of the female wrestlers we've got in the company and that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she does when she makes the big jump up to the big leagues.
Yeah, that will be an interesting one. Because, like you say, most divas, women these days, they've all got similar body types, similar looks.
And fighting styles as well.
But Nia Jax sort of reminds me of that old wrestler Karma.
Yeah.
She's not great looking, pretty big.
But she's effective and she gets the job done when and how she needs to do it.
So yeah, I'll be interested to see what she does.
Yeah. And then on to SmackDown's picks. Now, I don't care. I'm going to go out on a limp here and say I did mark the hell out of this one. I lost it slightly. SmackDown's first pick of this round, which I legitimately did get excited for this time, because you know the first couple, you know, they're predictable. They're going to go for, you know, Dean Ambrose as they did, and one or two of the others, but they went back to NXT and they picked up arguably the hottest tag team, I'd argue, in the country at the minute, if not the world of wrestling. we've got American Alpha on the main big leagues now on
Fantastic.
SmackDown. So
And they deserve it. I'm happy for them both.
yeah,
'Cause if you've watched Breaking Ground, you watched their story, you know how hard these two have worked to get to this position.
yeah. I mean, I think they've only been tagging for just over a year now, and the stuff that they've come out with and have accomplished is just unbelievable. And full kudos to the team for pulling it off as they have.
Yeah, I mean, we were all worried if you've watched NXT. They won the tag titles and then lost them the next month, and unfortunately lost the rematch for the tag titles.
Yeah,
So it was a case of, I think calling them up was the only option.
yeah,
But no, happy for them. They deserve it.
yeah. And it'll be very good and interesting to see what they can do coming up against the teams they could be facing on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then, try not to knock the guy, but a bit of a downer after that pick. We had Dolph Ziggler next for SmackDown.
I'd love to give a comment about this, but I've said it numerous times. I haven't liked the way they've been treating him since he was world champion.
So we can but hope that he gets a break on SmackDown. He gets a bit of success come his way.
I sure hope so. Was there another one?
Nope, that was it. Because
Cool.
if you remember, we had the whole rubbish where SmackDown got 2 picks and Raw got 3 picks because they're the 3-hour show.
On to the main event.
Oh yes, and what a main event it was. It was the rematch from Raw for the WWE Championship. It was between the former Brothers and Shield members, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
Yeah. See, this was the only match of the night which was given an extended period of time. And it didn't disappoint. This was a classic match. No interference. No outside shenanigans. No crappy finishes. 2 guys going at it.
Yeah.
Good match.
And they well and truly went at it. They were fighting all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, very good match up, but in the end, it was close, but not close enough for certain Seth Rollins, because he got hit with the dirty deeds.
Yeah. I mean, the last sequence of this was pretty incredible. Like Dean Ambrose took a move and almost rolled into the dirty deeds. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. And I like how he's getting to these positions from different places.
Yeah.
And it was a clean win. I mean, you'd expect the champion to go over.
Not to mention it only being a few days before Battleground,
Yeah.
although both participants are in the main event, you wouldn't expect them to change the title that close to a pay-per-view.
No, wouldn't happen. Not in this day.
So, congratulations to Dean for another successful title defense. And then just touching on this quickly, we did have the final television picks just before this match. Although they weren't much to brag about,
No.
except for maybe 2 of Raw's. But yeah, the next picks on the draft from Raw was he hasn't even returned to television yet, but Neville has been selected for Raw.
That's good. Yeah. Happy he's back.
Yeah, look forward to hopefully seeing him in the ring very soon.
Because since we lost Barrett, I was waiting for Neville to come back because you support the English wrestlers.
Yeah.
So, who's next?
Well, then we had the Swiss Superman, Cesaro.
Yeah, good draft.
Yeah. Yeah. And then of course, they had to go ruin it with one crap pick. No, sorry, I don't care. We had the Irish arse picked next. Sheamus.
That's good. Yeah,
And then, well, I'm going to come out and say it, and SmackDown's last 2 picks were plain disappointing. We had Alberto Del Rio and Natalia.
Pointless. Pointless signings.
Yeah.
But at that point now, all the good people were taken.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that was how it finished. The night off for SmackDown. That was the end of the show. Now we will very briefly and quickly run through the results of the draft once it went off air. You did have the opportunity to watch them picks being made on the network with the what do you call it? Live show or pre-show or after-show panel.
Yeah, I think so.
We had Renee Young and Lita and the Booker Man.
Yeah.
Five time.
And special guests all throughout the hour.
Yeah, and I believe was Corey Graves there as well, I think,
Yeah,
briefly at times.
The tattooed maniac, or whatever he calls himself.
So yeah, so then after it went offline, onto the network, briefly run through the rounds. Round 7, Raw picked up the Golden Truth.
Right.
Titus O'Neil and Paige. So there is a few rumours going around backstage about whether Paige and Del Rio have split up from their relationship, and that's why they're on separate shows. To be quite honest, it's between them, and who cares? It's between them. Nobody's business.
Not interested.
No. Yeah. And then SmackDown came along. We had the Usos getting picked up.
Not bad.
And then we had Demon Kane.
No, I don't really care where he's drafted to. Why couldn't hell draft him?
Yeah, and then I think after this, then they basically just started picking three wrestlers or teams each. Brief run through. Raw picked up Darren Young with Bob Backlund and Sin Cara and Jack Swagger. SmackDown picked up Kalisto, Naomi,
Right.
even though she hasn't been seen in quite a few months.
She got injured.
Yeah. So whether that's a hint that she's returning shortly. And finally, the Ascension got picked up by SmackDown, so that's good. Hopefully we'll be seeing them in action shortly on television, possibly.
Yeah.
And then the next round, Raw picked up the Dudley Boys. The second least talented wrestler on the roster, Summer Rae.
Oh, great.
And Mark Henry.
Mark Henry? Jeez, what a waste.
And then SmackDown, they picked up Long Island IZ, Zack Ryder,
Oh, God.
Apollo Crews.
That's a good pick.
And then we had our next pick from NXT.
Oh, should be a good one.
Another women wrestler.
Yeah.
It was none other than the former manager of Blake and Murphy,
Oh, terrible tag team.
Alexa Bliss.
Oh, I like Alexa Bliss. I like her athleticism, dynamics, good in the ring. Hopefully good in other places.
And it wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that she's bald.
No, not at all.
I think it come as a slight shock because despite of her popularity in NXT, I think a lot of people were expecting Bayley to be called up.
I'll wait for it. No, I will talk about her on the battleground thing.
Right, okay. So yeah, moving on to the next round. Raw, their first pick. They've split up the Wyatt family.
Yeah,
Braun Strowman has been drafted to Raw.
that's a strange decision. It really is.
Yeah, and well, I'm going to go out and say it. The next two were much better. They picked up the king of Bo Leave,
Oh no.
Bo Dallas.
Why would anyone pick him?
And then I presume this is what the tag team's called now. They picked up the Shining Stars,
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Epico and Primo. Haven't seen them repackaged the last few years.
No, we haven't seen Primo and Epico in years.
Yeah.
Apparently they got kidnapped in Mexico. Or Spain.
Yeah. And then Smackdown. These are all pretty crap except for possibly the last ones you could make a little bit of an argument for. Breezango.
Right.
Eva Marie.
Oh dear.
And the Vaudevillains.
Oh, not bad.
Bringing a bit of manliness to SmackDown.
Yeah. And their mustaches.
Yeah. And then the final round. Raw picked up Alicia Fox.
Oh god.
Dana Brooke.
No.
And Curtis Axel.
Oh. Yeah.
And SmackDown come along to try and better them. Their first one was Eric Rowan. So I suppose sort of at least Eric stays with Bray, maybe.
Yeah. They won't try risking him as a singles guy again.
And then the next two picks that SmackDown made were from NXT.
Oh, should be some good ones here.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up with this one. The first one was one of the male wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yep. Admittedly, it was a little bit too early. Most people would argue, but I was hoping Nakamura would have been called up. But I think he's got to establish himself a bit on NXT first. Maybe have a title run with Joe first, and then it'll be his time. But no, I suppose maybe this is an angle to go on SmackDown once he's ended his title reigns or title rivalries. SmackDown picked up the other half of the Hype Bros.
Oh, Christ almighty.
Mojo Rawley.
Terrible pick. Why? The guy's about as useful as a guinea pig in a gunny sack.
So yeah, and then the final pick from SmackDown was the Princess of Staten Island.
Oh, good.
Carmella.
Good pick. I'm a big fan of Carmel.
Yeah.
Like with Bliss, I like her athleticism, her in-ring work. Yeah.
That's alright. You get too close, you might get a big boot from Big Cass.
Oh.
Sorry to burst your bubble, Emma. Yeah, Carmella's jumped up to the main roster now. So it'll be interesting to see what she does on SmackDown. And then, unfortunately, don't you worry, we haven't forgotten. Unfortunately, one wrestler went undrafted.
Oh, wow.
And unfortunately, that one person was none other than Heath Slater.
Yeah. I mean, if you watched the end of the network special, there was a thing where all the chairs were empty. And it was just Heath Slater sitting down, wondering where everyone had gone.
Yeah. Obviously, this episode of SmackDown's gone on a little bit longer than it normally does, but this has mainly been due to the draft happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's a quick one. I mean, is Nikki Bella still technically a wrestler? Because she didn't get drafted either.
No, but then...
I know Brie retired.
Yeah. Well, you can make a few arguments for some of them. I mean, obviously, two very high-profile part-time wrestlers weren't part of the draft.
Yeah, that's true.
The dead man and the COO of the company, Triple H.
Yeah, he wouldn't be drafted. Undertaker, I am shocked at, but then again, it wouldn't matter because he just comes and goes wherever he pleases.
Yeah. Right, just before we wrap this episode up, just like to make note that the day after the draft, I want to go on record now and say I'm pissed off about this quite majorly. I know they got to shake it up a bit somehow, but this has pissed me off. they've shaken up the commentary teams on Raw and SmackDown.
Different.
Yeah, so on Raw, you've got a new team of Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves. He's been called up from NXT.
I don't think that's a great commentary team, in my opinion.
No, and well, I can guess who it's gonna be, but it's a bit of a case of who's the villain out of the group.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it'd probably be Corey Graves, but yeah, unless we're gonna get Michael Cole turning heel, but then at the same time, we do not want to see the reintroductions. I repeat, do not want to see the coal mine return.
God. Heel Michael Cole is one of the worst things I've ever had the misfortune of listening to.
Worse than heel JR.
I could live with heel JR. As bad as that was.
Right.
SmackDown?
Yep, making up the SmackDown team. I don't care. I've gone on record and said I don't like this guy. I don't like him. His voice just annoys me. It's weird. We had Mauro Ranallo staying on SmackDown. And then, arguably one of the greatest commentators ever, JBL. He's back on SmackDown.
Well, that is his show.
Yep. And then we had a very pointless and still very confusing choice. Completing the commentary team on SmackDown, David Otunga.
Right. I'd have gone with Booker T personally, but whatever.
Yep. And you're probably all asking yourself now, what about the King? What's happened to Jerry Lawler?
Don't care. He hasn't been relevant in about 10 years.
Well, unfortunately for the King, he has been demoted to the pre-show panel.
Go ahead, King.
Yes, and well, I think that well and truly wraps up the draft and SmackDown.
Yeah. Christ almighty, if you are still with us,
Well done.
I'm going to give you a medal.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like I say, that wraps it up from your hosts, the Master of the Brain Damage,
I've been Martin.
and the one and only Sam H. We will see you again on Sunday for the Battleground preview. Adios.